So we got everybody on one side.
Yeah.
Why don't we get that stenographer back for that one guy that we shut off?
That was great.
Please come to order. This is the duly advertised meeting of the Joliet Zoning Board of Appeals. In our capacity, we hear petitions for relief from the strict provisions of our city ordinance. In matters of this type, the decision of this board is final. In respect, it does not go to the mayor or the city council for any further action. If you disagree with our decision, you do have recourse in a court of record. We also hear petitions for variations of land use. In matters of this type, we act as an advisory board to the mayor and city council, making a recommendation either for or against. Final decision on land use is made by the mayor and the city council. Secretary, want to call the roll?
Ms. Saffer? Mr. Alessio?
Here.
Mr. McShane? Mr. Noctree?
Here.
Mr. Riggs?
Here.
Ms. Rohr? Here. Mr. Hennessy?
Here, it looks like either everybody's for something or against something. That side's full, there's nobody over here. These guys are in trouble.
It's a caucus, yeah.
First order would be approval of minutes from July 20th meeting.
Motion would be in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve the minutes. Pull the board.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Next order would be citizens to be heard on agenda items. Anybody that would want to speak on an agenda item can do so now, but please be aware we'll also let you speak when the case is called. But if there's anybody that would like to speak now, they could do so. Seeing none, we could move to old business public hearing. We have none. Under new business, I'd like to move up petitions 2023 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54. This has to do with the proposal for the U-Haul storage facility that's being proposed at 4200 West Jefferson Street. There are some issues that need to get straightened out with the FAA and the airport. So we asked that this be tabled for a month to the September meeting. Is there anybody here for this U-Haul case? We let the petitioner know, so hopefully nobody came in regards to that. This doesn't look
Secretary,
like
you may
it.
want to announce too that we have a limited board. We don't have a full quorum. If anybody feels that they would have a.
Yeah, for anything that stops here variations, you would need at least 4 approval votes. So if anybody would rather come back for another meeting where there's a larger quorum of board members, that's possible also. But in regards to this case, this is just a request to table. Staff has asked the petitioner to work with the FAA, so we're asking to table this for 1 month to get that sorted out.
Till the next meeting.
Yes, September.
Motion would be in order.
So move.
Second.
We have motion and second to table petitions 2023-50 through 2023-54. Do you want to take them one at a time or all?
You could take them all together.
Okay, pull the board.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctree?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
That will come back on September 21st, ideally, and be heard. If for some reason That's not straightened out at that time. There could be another tabling, but hopefully everything is straightened out by that time. Moving back to the top of the agenda, 2023-45, under new business public hearings. We have the petitioner is Will County Habitat for Humanity. The location is 4 South Cagwin Avenue. The request is a variation under purpose. The petitioner is requesting a variation to reduce the required rear yard setback on a through lot from 30 feet to 25 feet for a property located at 4 South Cagwin Avenue. Petitioner wishes to build a new one-story house on the vacant subject property. The house would front South Cagwin Avenue, but would contain a rear garage access off Laurel Avenue to the east. Since the subject property contains street frontage on both South Cagwin Avenue, the front facade, and Laurel Avenue, the rear facade, is considered a through lot. Section 47-17.33 of the city's zoning ordinance states that on through lots, the front yard requirements shall apply to all street frontages. Since the subject property contains R3, 1 and 2 family residential zoning, and the subject property will be improved with a single-family dwelling, the front yard setback is 30 feet. Therefore, the 30 feet setback distance is required off both South Cagwin Avenue to the west and Laurel Avenue to the east. Requested variation is necessary to accommodate the proposed attached garage, which would encroach upon the 30-foot setback distance by 5 feet. Under site information, the subject property has been vacant since 2020. Petitioner Will County Habitat for Humanity wishes to build a new one-story single-family residence. The proposed house would be approximately 1,944 square feet in size. Petitioner has obtained a building permit to construct a main building off the house without the attached garage that would encroach upon the required Laurel Avenue setback distance. Elevations and a site plan of the proposed new house have been included in the staff packet. The South Cagwin Avenue facade will feature a brick face veneer and a 16-foot by 6-foot front porch. The rear loading garage side will feature horizontal vinyl siding, and attached garage will accommodate 2 cars. As previously stated, the requested variation is necessary to accommodate the rear loading attached garage, which will be accessed off Laurel Avenue to the east. The garage contains a depth of approximately 21 feet, which would encroach upon the Laurel Avenue setback distance by 5 feet. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character: to the north is R3, single-family residence. To the east is R3 parking lot. To the south is R3 single-family residence. To the west is R2 single-family and 2-family residences. Applicable regulations: section 47-7.4A, yard and lot requirements in the R3, lots improved with single-family dwellings. 47-17.33, yards required for corner and through lots. And 47-19.8, criteria for granting a variation, and you could refer to the attachment for that. Under discussion, the petitioner is requesting a variation to reduce the required rear yard setback on a through lot from 30 feet to 25 feet for a property located at 4 South Cagwin. The subject lot is approximately 130.5 feet long between the South Cagwin Avenue and Laurel Avenue rights-of-way. Main building, including the attached garage, is approximately 69 feet long. Even with the proposed 6 feet deep front porch, the 30-foot front yard setback off South Cagwin will be met. While it is possible for modifications to be made to either the size of the proposed house or elimination of the front porch to help meet the required Laurel Avenue setback distance of 30 feet, staff supports the proposed variation requests. Surrounding area contains several structures which, either by approved variation or by legal nonconforming status, do not meet the R2 and R3 setback standards. Subject variation requests will not alter the essential character of the locality and will result in a net improvement to a currently vacant and underutilized property. Under conditions, if the Zoning Board of Appeals desires to approve the requested variation, staff recommends the following conditions be included. 1, that all necessary building permits shall be obtained prior to construction of the attached garage. And that concludes our staff report.
Commissioner here? Is anyone here representing this petition?
If you'd like, we could represent them. Otherwise, it's up to you if you wanted to table them. It's just a setback variance for this
Any comments
attached.
you'd like to make, sir?
I think I made enough when I read them. read
Okay,
this
any
before.
questions by the board? No question. Anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anybody opposed? Chair closes petition, asks the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Nactry?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Next petition we have is, let's see,
46.
yeah, hold on one second. Twenty 46, the applicant owner is David Carlson. Location is 637 Central Avenue. The request is a series of variations. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting the following variations to allow construction of a full-width covered front porch, an existing single-family home at 637 Central Avenue. The variations being requested are variation to reduce the required front yard setback from 30 feet to 16 feet, variation to reduce required side yard setback from 6 feet to 5.2 feet, variation to reduce the required sum of side yards from 15 feet to 13.6 feet, and variation to increase maximum lot coverage from 30% to 33%. Zoning Board of Appeals makes a final decision on these variation requests. Under site-specific information, the site is 40 feet by 114 feet, or 4,544 square feet, and contains a one-story single-family residence and detached garage. The existing house was built around 1920 and has non-conforming setbacks, including the front yard, the north side yard, and the sum of the side yards. The house has an existing covered porch stoop that is set back 19.6 feet from the front property line. There is also an 8-foot deep concrete patio and sidewalk surrounding the south side of the porch. Proposed porch would replace the existing stoop and patio. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, subject site is located in the Reedwood area neighborhood on the block of Central Avenue, south of Interstate 80. The property is zoned R2 single family and is surrounded by other single family homes with R2 zoning. Under applicable regulations, we have section 47-6.4, R2 yard and lot requirements. 47-17.29, percentage of ground coverage, and section 47-19.8, findings of fact supporting a variation, and you could refer to that attachment. Under discussion, the approval of the requested variations would allow a 26.2 foot by 8.5 foot covered porch to replace the existing porch, stoop, and patio of a one-story single-family home. Proposed porch would have a similar footprint as the existing porch and patio, but would extend the full width of the house. Petitioner is requesting to reduce the required front yard setback from 30 feet to 16 feet. Existing setback is 19.6 feet for the covered stoop and 17 feet for the uncovered porch. The petitioner must also request variations on the side yard and some of side yard requirements because the porch would have the same non-conforming side yards as the existing house. Additionally, the petitioner needs a variation to increase the maximum allowed lot coverage from 30% to 33%. Current lot coverage is at 29%. According to the petitioner, the current configuration of the porch and patio holds water and does not complement the look of the home, while the proposed porch would enhance the appearance and value of the home. The other homes on this block have porch stoops similar to the existing home, but there are several homes in the neighborhood with larger porches similar to the proposed porch. The petitioner would be unable to construct a new porch that meets current setback requirements due to the house's existing nonconformities and the undersized lot, which is smaller than the minimum lot size required in the R2 district. The proposed porch would be constructed with wooden posts and beams and have a gable roof. A design sketch, example elevation, and plat of survey are attached. Under conditions, we have none, and that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here? We're striking out.
These are raised cases? No. Did they know that they were supposed to come? Okay. It's up to you again,
Go ahead,
minor in nature,
let's proceed.
if you see anything. If you want to see if there's anyone here in opposition.
Yeah, anybody here wishing to speak in favor? Is there anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition to the floor and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have motion and second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Mr. Nockery?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Alessio?
I'll just say for the record, anybody watching the meeting, it's unusual to not have people represented, cases. However, these are cases that we generally, we have a habit of the board of approving. I think this is very much in line of our typical course of behavior. I'm supportive of homeowners who have legal nonconformities, improving their homes. That's why, I'm in favor and I vote aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Maybe we should ask if the petitioner's here before you start the petition.
1529 North Broadway Street? I'm here. Okay.
Don't go.
Petition number 2023-47. The petitioner owner is Terry Lambert, Lambert Enterprises Incorporated. Location is 1529 North Broadway Street. Request is a variation. Under purpose, the petitioner is requesting a variation to increase the maximum allowable size from an on-premise wall sign from 200 square feet to 300 square feet for a building located at 1529 North Broadway Street. Petitioner would like to paint half of the northern facade of the main convenience store building at 1529 North Broadway Street to resemble the photograph that is included in the staff report packet. On-premise signage cannot exceed 200 square feet in area, according to section 47-17.213BB of the city's zoning ordinance. The requested variation is necessary to allow the signage size as proposed as approximately 300 square feet. Under site-specific information, the subject property has contained a gas station since 1957. The proposed mural would be based off a photograph from this era. Petitioner has stated that the site contains the longest-running gas station of anywhere on the traditional Route 66 site. Mural is intended to illustrate the gas station's history along the traditional Route 66 byway and serve as an additional focal point along the route. Petitioner wishes to paint the western half of the northern facade of the convenience store building that currently contains a brick facade. Some photographs of the subject property and convenience store building have been included in the staff report packet for reference. The mural would be ultimately be approximately 300 square feet in size, spanning approximately 25 feet in length and 12 feet in height. Portion of the wall contains some mechanical equipment that would be painted over with the proposed mural. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, to the north is Crest Hill B1 and R3, and there's a concrete supplier and auto dealership there. To the east is B3 Woodlands, to the south is B3 McDonald's, and to the west is R2 Woodlands. Under applicable regulations, this is section 47-17.213BB signs variation, and 47-19.8 criteria for granting a variation, and you could refer to the attachment. Under discussion, the petitioner is requesting a variation to increase the maximum allowable size for an on-premise wall sign from 200 square feet to 300 square feet for a building located at 1529 Broadway Street. The proposed mural was presented to the City of Joliet's Art Commission for comments at its June 21st meeting. Minutes of the meeting have been included in the staff report packet. The commission generally supported the proposed mural, though several commissioners commented on the proposed location of the mural and whether it would be visible from the intersection of North Broadway Street and Theodore Street. Several other commissioners raised questions as to how the sign would be marketed and if the site plans to incorporate any other ties to Route 66. Commissioners also asked whether the sign would eventually include a title. Petitioner stated that he might investigate installing some information boards on site. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the requested variation, the following condition would be included. One, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the variation. And that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here? I must swear you in. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Your name and address, please.
The location,
No, your name and address.
Terry Lambert, 3500 Harris Drive, Joliet, Illinois,
Floor
6043.
is yours.
Great. We wanted to, we extensively remodeled the location inside and out, and we brought some of that history back inside the store. We just wanted to kind of continue the history of the corner outside as well. We've recently been designated by the Route 66 Byway folks as the oldest continuously operating gas station on Route 66 anywhere in the country. And we wanted to maybe celebrate that by putting a mural on the side of the building. And I've got Robert Ryan, who's kind of waiting on standby to paint the mural. He also did the Delwood Tires mural in Lockport. And I think he's known locally for some of his artwork as well. And so we're just looking for a variation to kind of take care of that. We're planning on lighting it a little bit. We're also taking that, our goal is anyway, the north side of the property that's vacant there and has the grassy area, we may turn that into a monarch butterfly habitat where folks can actually meander through there and then maybe sit and have lunch if they want, and encourage, again, that's a Route 66 byway initiative to build, to kind of help the monarch butterflies as they kind of make their migration back and forth. So that's our goal. And we thought that would really kind of highlight the location. It would really draw some Route 66 visitors. They believe so as well. And that they'd want to take a picture maybe next to that. And it'll look like they're actually standing on the property of the old 1957 building. And that was kind of what we were kind of going for.
Thank you. Any questions by the board?
Just a comment. It's too bad you don't still have the old building from 1957.
I so wish we had that still there. It'd be way set close to 53, but that sure would have been something to kind of draw off. It would have been a really nice, interesting look for that corner. But we do what we work with what we have. So.
Any other questions? Anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition and asks the board for discussion.
Thank you.
And a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Poll the board.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctry?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
Next petition is 2023-48. The applicant owner is Southern Will County Special Education Cooperation. Dr. Tiffany Frey is the executive director. Location is 1205 North Larkin Avenue. Request is an amendment to a special use permit. Under purpose, Southern Will County Cooperative for Special Education, SOWIC, is requesting an amendment to a special use permit, originally a conditional use permit, that was approved in July 1998 as ordinance number 11978 and allowed a special education facility at 1205 North Larkin Avenue. SOWIC was the original applicant for the 1998 petition and continues to operate their non-residential public day school at this location. Original conditions of the ordinance restricted the enrollment to a maximum of 90 students in kindergarten through 8th grade. The proposed amendment would allow student enrollment to increase to a maximum of 160 students in the school to serve preschool-aged children 3 years and up, in addition to kindergarten through 8th grade. The mayor and city council will make the final decision on the amendment request with the advice of the Zoning Board of Appeals in accordance with section 47-5.2. Under site-specific information, SOWIC owns a 3-acre subject site and operates their Joseph E. Fisher School at this location. SOWIC provides special education programs and services for students within its 10-member districts, which include Troy School District 30C, Laraway School District 70C, and Shanahan School District 17. SOWIC provides these services both within district buildings and at their own sites, such as the Joseph E. Fisher School. Fisher School is a public day school that provides a full curriculum for students with emotional disabilities. School employs a minimum of 1 teacher and 1 assistant per classroom, along with speech, occupational, and physical therapists who serve the students as needed. Building also contains offices for SOWIC administrative staff. School hours are approximately 8 a.m. to 3:25 p.m. during the school year. Students are transported to and from the school by buses. Preschool start times will be offset from K through 8 start times to stagger the arrival of the buses. Site contains a 2-story brick school building, a playground, and a parking lot with 134 spaces. Site has one main entrance off Larkin Avenue and the second entrance off Ingalls Avenue. SOIC has operated their school here since 1999. Prior to that, the site was occupied by Holy Family Catholic Church and School. Site is zoned B1 neighborhood business zoning. The building, built circa 1960, has around 12,000 square feet per floor. The first and second floors include classrooms and office space. The basement includes a cafeteria, kitchen, and library. Petitioner plans to remodel the first floor to create 7 new classrooms from existing open office space to accommodate the proposed increased enrollment. School's bathroom facilities will also be upgraded to meet accessibility standards. There are no planned exterior modifications to the building. Proposed floor plans are included as an attachment. Existing playground is around 4,500 square feet and is enclosed on 2 sides by a 6-foot chain link fence. Petitioner plans to install a fence along the east side of the playground to fully enclose the area. The petitioner will also have the playground space evaluated and add equipment as needed for preschool age students. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the site on the west side of the Larkin Avenue is on the west side of Larkin Avenue, north of Ingalls Avenue within the Great Northern Subdivision. Surrounding zoning and land use are to the north, B1 neighborhood business, Old National Bank. To the east is R2 single family residential, and that's Joliet Catholic Academy. To the south is B1 neighborhood business, Walgreens. To the west is R5 multifamily residential, Larkins Point subdivision. Under applicable regulations, section 47-11.2AB, special uses, B1 neighborhood business district, 47.5.2A, special uses in the R1 single family district, and 47-5.2C, criteria for issuance of a special use permit, and you could refer to the attachment for that. Under discussion, the petitioner, SOIC, is requesting an amendment to their original special use permit that allowed a special education facility with enrollment of a maximum of 90 students in kindergarten through 8th grade. SOIC wishes to increase their maximum enrollment by an additional 70 students in order to serve preschool-age children at this location. According to the petitioner, there is a high need for special education preschool services in the area, especially with the disruption from the COVID-19 pandemic. SOIC currently offers a preschool programs at their Wilmington and Shanahan locations. By providing services to preschool-age children, SOIC hopes to decrease the need for services for these children at older ages and transition them to their regular district classroom at an earlier age. Fisher School would offer full and half-day preschool programs. Classes will likely have 6 to 8 students with a maximum class size of 10. There will be a minimum of 1 teacher and 1 assistant per classroom. Planned renovation of the school would add 7 classrooms to serve the additional students. Library and bathroom facilities will also be upgraded. Petitioner has submitted 3 letters of support for the special use permit amendment requests, which are included as attachments. The original ordinance documents are also attached. The original conditions from the ordinance 11-978 will remain. The subject site shall be permitted to operate only as non-residential public day facilities serving students with disabilities under Article 14 of the Illinois School Code. 2, the subject site shall not be used at any time now or in the future as an alternate or alternative school as defined under Article 13A of the Illinois School Code. 3, the subject site shall be limited to public ownership and management, and at no time nor in the future shall the facility be privately owned or managed. 4, the facility operating on the property shall have no more than 10% of the maximum enrollment by tuition students from districts other than those currently participating in SOIC. 5, the facility will install a playground with equipment and decorative fencing to complete enclosure of the area as soon as feasible, but within the 1998-99 school year. That's done, I believe. The structure shall not be expanded in the future. existing of off-street parking shall remain in the future, should the property be declared a public nuisance or pose unreasonable threat to public safety, it shall be subject to rehearing before the zoning board of appeals and possible revocation of the conditional use by the mayor and city council. And new conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the amendment to the special use to increase the enrollment, the following conditions would be included. One, that the facility shall have enrolled no more than 160 full-time students at any time. And two, the facility shall serve students in grades preschool through 8th grade. And that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here. I'll swear you in. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present to be the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Your name and address.
Tiffany Frey, Executive Director, SOIC, 1205 North Larkin Avenue, Joliet, Illinois.
Thank you. Any comments?
Just what you heard, we've been there since 1998, and we service 1,800 students with special education needs in southern Will County. And we are seeing an increased need for more services, and we have the space within our building where our current administrative offices are. And to provide us the ability to also upgrade some bathrooms and library and facilities within our building where we're already servicing students, it made sense to my governing board to make this recommendation and ask the city to allow us to service preschool in this location, is where we've already been doing for 20 years, servicing the kindergarten through 8th grade population. It would really allow us to provide many more services for students right now that we're struggling to find classroom space to provide the special education services that we're required to provide to students when they enroll in the public school.
Thank you. Any comments, questions by the board?
I have one question.
Sure.
So, there'll be more students, but less administrative staff, or are the staff moving to some other facility?
So that's a good question. So we service about 425 square miles of southern Will County, and we have staff in various places. This just happens to be what we kind of would call in one school district, a district office. So myself, my secretary, a bookkeeper, payroll, and a main secretary that answers the phone and does some clerical work. We're housed there because we're geographically spread pretty far. So it actually, if this was able to be done, we would increase administrative services. Our central office would relocate somewhere else where we're doing payroll and things to keep the district running. But we would increase administration in the supervision of the preschool age students. And there's already currently one full-time administrator there overseeing the Joseph E. Fisher School. So there would be a new student administrator that would be on site. So there would be 2 of them full-time, where right now there's only 1. And then myself, I do other things besides just what's in those 4 walls of that building.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments? Anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition, asks the board for discussion and a motion.
Motion for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Poll the board.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctre?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. I see former Councilman Turk out there. I thought you were gonna make some comments.
The director did a great job.
Well, I was just thinking that after all your years on the council, it'd be refreshing to be sworn in rather than sworn at. So,
That one will go to city council on September 18th and 19th for final action. Next petitions we have are 2023-49 and 2023-55. The applicant is Maria Regis. Status of the applicant is the tenant. The owner is NGP Investments. The location is 217 East Clinton Street. We have under request a special use permit and a variation. The purpose, the applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow an automotive service and repair facility within the existing industrial building at 217 East Clinton Street. Per the City of Joliet zoning ordinance, automotive repair facilities may be allowed as special uses in the B3 district by the mayor and city council with the advice of the zoning board of appeals in accordance with section 47-5.2. Section 47-17.26, garages and automobile service stations of the zoning ordinance states that no part of an automobile repair shop be located within 100 feet of any building or grounds of certain institutional uses, including schools and churches. Church building at 225 East Clinton Street is approximately 60 feet from the proposed auto repair facility, and the soccer fields for Joliet Central High School on the south side of Clinton Street are approximately 80 feet from the proposed facility. Therefore, the applicant is also requesting a variation to allow the automotive service and repair facility within 100 feet of the building or grounds of church and school. Zoning Board of Appeals makes a final decision on this variation request. Under site-specific information, the site is 10,560 square feet and contains a 4,635 square foot concrete block and brick building, a 4-car detached garage, and an asphalt parking area. The main building has 2 overhead doors, one on the parking area, one off the parking area, and one access from the rear alley. Building interior contains a large open space for repairs that can hold several cars at once. Offices and bathrooms are located at the front of the building by the main entrance. Detached garage has 2 overhead doors facing the alley. Oop. What happened? The garage is used by the property owner for their own storage and is not connected to the main building. There is a parking area on the west side of the building that is enclosed by a 6-foot chain link fence with privacy slats. Parking lot can accommodate around 10 vehicles. Site also has 2 dedicated on-street parking spaces located directly in front of the building. The site was previously occupied by Ireland Ltd., a painting and coatings contractor from 1973 until 2018. The existing industrial building was likely constructed in the mid to late 1960s. Site originally contained a residential use from the early 1900s until around 1963. The property is currently Zone B3 General Businesses has been Zone B3 since at least 1965. Surrounding zoning land use and character, the property is located to the east of the city center on the block of Clinton Street, directly west of Eastern Avenue. The block contains a mix of uses, including a few commercial buildings, several residential homes, fire station, and a church. South side of this block of Clinton contains Dooley Health and Cure Field, soccer fields for Joliet Central High School, and the Boys and Girls Club of Joliet. Residential home is adjacent to the west side of the site. Church parking lot abuts the east side of the building. The back of the building faces the rear yard of vacant commercial building and a mixed-use building. All surrounding properties are Zone B3. Under applicable regulations, we have Section 47-13.2AG, special uses in the B3 zoning district, 47-17.26, garages and automobile service stations, 47-5.2C, criteria for issuance of a special use permit, and you could refer to the attachment. Under discussion, the petitioner is requesting approval of a special use permit to allow an automotive service and repair facility for Carotech Auto Center in the existing industrial building at 1217 East Clinton Street. Carotech is a small family-owned car repair business that offers services such as brake repair, transmission repair, and routine maintenance. According to the petitioner, the business currently has 1 employee with the potential for up to 3 employees and works on around 2 jobs at a time. Proposed hours of operation are 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. The business is open to the public and would need a business license for a public garage. Carotech was formerly located at 509 East Washington Street for 2 years. The site contains a concrete block building with a large open area for repairs, several offices, and bathroom facilities. There is an existing paved parking area enclosed by a chain link screening fence. Fence runs the length of the west property line adjacent to a residential use and includes a gate on the south side across the Clinton Street driveway access. Customers would enter the parking area from the Clinton Street driveway. Petitioner will work with city staff to create an appropriate parking lot that can accommodate customer vehicles. Employees can use the overhead door off the parking lot or off the alley to pull cars into the building. The inside of the building has 2 car lifts and can store up to 9 vehicles. No repairs will take place inside the detached garage. A site plan and plat of survey are attached. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the special use permit, following conditions would be included. 1, that no testing of customer vehicles shall be conducted within the adjacent streets bordering the school and school grounds. 2, that a city business license shall be obtained. 3, that the special use shall be granted herein and terminate unless permits are obtained within 180 days. 4, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and a possible revocation of the special use permit. And that concludes our staff report.
Petitioner here?
Yes, we are, but he's the renter, I'm the owner of the building. Who do you want up there?
Yeah, anyone that wishes to speak, come forward. Okay, I must swear all 3 of you in. Would you raise your right hands, please? Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
Yes, we do.
I want each of your names and addresses.
My name is Nick Policandriotis, 2500 Douglas Street.
Mi nombre es José Rizzo, la 217 de la Clinton.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Chris Milenas, 709 North Center Street.
Okay. Floor is yours.
All right. Well, I'm the owner of the building, and basically, Jose came to me and he had the place out on Washington Street. I took over the building that the Ireland people had, and we refurbished it so that it can accommodate what it has today. And I believe this young man here is a very strong worker, and he really emulates what we do here in this country, try to give people chances to do things. The other thing I want to say is the history of that area, especially if you look at where the soccer field is, would belong to Rendell's, if anybody remembers in the old day, Rendell's. And farther to the west was Supreme. Sid was running that. I knew him very well, and friends also. When it came to the Polsons, that's another story. Now they're in South Chicago Street. So that area has always had this type of ability to be able to have places there. As far as the school goes, I find it interesting because even when I was at Central in the 70s, 72, 3, I took an automotive class there. And just to double check, today they're offering an automotive class. There's actually 2 of them. So I don't believe that we're asking anything spectacular. I think that area has merited this for decades, and I believe you have a good man behind me who, you know, he's conscious about working and working well for this, for the city, and himself, obviously.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to make any comments?
You sure? Yeah. You sure you want to go? Okay. He's a hardworking man. I've seen what he's done, and I would venture to say, if anybody, you guys walked in that place, I haven't seen a cleaner mechanics place. And I've dealt with a lot of the people over my years here, the locals. Done a very good job, and he's tried to keep other things, because there's a vacant property, used to be a chicken place directly north of him. And we've been trying, he has done a good job of keeping, a lot of the kids would go there and hang out and do what they do as kids, as we all were kids. And he's done a good job to make sure those people aren't going there anymore. Been trying to get the Jan from the graffiti, thank you. And he's been trying to get there, and we're trying to get that solved too, to clean up the thing. And it's clean. He's got everything fenced. He understands, and I had that discussion with him to make sure you can't do stuff here that people are going to be upset, otherwise you're not going to be here. So he has done a very well job in being there in the time he's been to make sure, and that's what we're requesting that we allow this variance so that he can continue to do a good job and try and help his family.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, could I ask you a question,
Yes.
please? You've owned that building for
Yes, I do.
quite a while?
2018,
Okay,
when they left, it was actually owned by the bank, and they approached me. Jim Rolfe approached me, and
I was just wondering if you knew anything about the people that live in the three houses to the
Yes.
west of the...
the house directly west was belonging to Juan Vela, who had Vela's Restaurant. He has since passed away, and his daughter and his wife have been renting it. I don't know, I should know the other two renters' names, or who own it, but we've talked many times, and they don't make enough noise to bother anybody there or do anything. It is interesting that one of the arguments, I was told that noise could be an issue, but you got the second noise place there, the Joliet Fire Department, that probably makes so much noise that everybody has to hear in the neighborhood, including me.
Plus the baseball.
Plus the baseball. But he doesn't interfere with that stuff, nor does he make any noise that's doing that. My father and I have, he's passed, but we own where Elder Brewery is now. That's now my building. And also where JCM Uniforms is, that's where I run that business with my son. So my concept is to make these buildings so that they are usable and friendly to everybody. So I think we've accomplished that. And I think he's a good man. He reminds me of the work ethic my father had. And I've seen it in him. And that's what drew me to him, because I had other applicants and I could just tell, this guy, he's got a work ethic, reminds me of my dad, and that's a positive thing, because that's what I was brought up to be.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments by the board?
Will they be closed on Sundays?
Yes, you're closed on Sundays, right? Yes, they're closed.
That it?
It won't interfere with the church, I understand.
Right.
Okay, anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? If not, chair closes the petition to the floor and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
I move we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Pull the board.
Mr. Noctry?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
I'm gonna vote aye, but when you were mentioning the history down there, when I was in business, we did business with Randall's and Supremes, and Bob Ireland was one of our accounts. The only thing I missed was, I think Randall's used to have the Christmas time, you go down and get it, he'd have about 500 turkeys there, giving them out to people he did business with. So you might start off with maybe baby chicks or something.
That building originally was a chicken place back in the day. That building's been 3 times added on to where it is today. It was just a small thing in the front, they had a dock. The dock is still there, actually. It's interesting how far back, and I don't know all of it.
You brought up a lot of familiar old names, thank you. Pull the board, please.
I did,
Oh, okay. So what?
Did he vote?
yes.
Where are we?
Oh, yeah.
Both applications,
I gotta vote aye, yeah.
both petitions were approved. The special use permit for the repair place itself will go to city council on the 18th and 19th.
This one?
September 18th and 19th, yeah. We took care of petitions 2023-50 through 54 with the tabling already. Under old new business, not for final action or recommendation, we have none. Under public comments, anyone wanting to speak on non-agenda items can speak at this time.
About 2350.
I think we just have petitioners, but if anybody wants to speak on non-agenda items, they can do so. Seeing none, you can adjourn if you'd like.
Motion to adjourn be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Pull the board. Do we
Second.
have a second?
Second.
Pull the board.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr? Aye. Mr. Alessio?
Aye.
Mr. Noctre?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
50 was.
Thank you.